Hello everyone! I've posted a lot of interesting and secret facts about the game on my channel, and in this video, I've decided to compile all of them into one video. I've saved the most exciting and secret information for the end, so I recommend watching the video until the end. Enjoy your viewing! In this video, I'll share everything I've discovered, from the differences in weapon models to the truly insane physical features that the developer has added. Make sure to watch the video all the way to the end, because at the end, I'm going to show you an experiment with the blade trap that really left me with a slack jaw. Let's go! So let's start with rocket turret. It would seem that there is something special here, a turret that just shoots missiles. But if you look closely, you can see a very interesting detail. The rocket fired by rocket turret does not match the one used in a regular rocket launcher at all. It seems to be nonsense, well, a rocket and a rocket. But if you slow down the video and compare the frames, you can see that these are absolutely two different projectiles. The rocket launcher has a longer rocket with a different body shape and even a different tail. However, the rocket turret has a smaller rocket with a different flight animation and a different explosion effect. This suggests that the developer intentionally created a new type of rocket specifically for this turret. This raises the question of why they did this. It could be a foresight for future updates, where we may see a new type of weapon, a new rocket launcher, or even another rocket launcher with unique features. After all, if the rocket already exists in the game's code, why not use it separately later? In short, there's definitely something to think about. Now let's move on to the knife turret. Again, we have a similar situation. We all know the regular knife that has been in the game for a long time. However, if you take a closer look at the knife turret's projectile, you'll notice that it is a completely different knife. It has a different shape, texture, and sheen, and it is clearly designed from scratch. This knife cannot be obtained separately, and it is not found anywhere else, making it a true mystery. I wonder if this is also a hint for the future. It's possible that the developer plans to add new melee weapons, and this knife is the first step in that direction. Alternatively, it could be a purely decorative feature to make the turret look unique. However, the fact remains that the knife turret fires knives that are not officially part of the game. This is quite interesting, folks. The next turret is the healing turret. At first glance, it seems simple. It shoots a beam and heals the NPC. However, if you look closely, you'll notice a truly ingenious detail. The beam can reflect and distort against metal objects. It's like the physics of light in real life. If the NPC is behind a metal barrier, the beam sometimes bends or deviates, creating an incredible visual effect. The developer didn't just make it as a visual effect. They really thought through the mechanics to make it feel as realistic as possible. I mean, come on, who would even notice such details? Everyone thinks, it's just a game, but in reality, there's a lot of attention to detail. And honestly, I want to give the developer another round of applause for such moments because it's truly impressive. And finally, let's talk about the blade trap. At first glance, it seems like a simple trap. You set it up, the NPC approaches, and the spikes pop out. It's straightforward. However, if you experiment a bit, you'll discover a fascinating effect. When you significantly increase the size of the blade trap and approach it with a melon, its parts literally scatter across the map. This is unlike the usual NPC destruction. Instead, a unique algorithm triggers, causing the body parts to fly in different directions at high speeds. Sometimes it even seems like a reference to old physics bugs, where objects would fly into space with just a touch. And this, by the way, opens up a huge field for experimentation. Well, friends, it seems that we've covered all the new turrets, but I have a few more guesses and theories that I want to share with you. If the developer has already added such unusual mechanics, it's likely that they have plans for the future. For example, let's take the rocket turret. We've already noticed that the rocket from this turret doesn't match the one from the regular rocket launcher. This raises the question of why the developer added a new rocket model. Maybe in future updates we will have a separate weapon with this very rocket, but already in the hands of the character. In my opinion, this sounds logical, because there is simply no point in making a new model for the sake of one turret. The same goes for the knife turret. It shoots knives that are not available anywhere else in the game. And here it seems to me that this is 100% hint. Because usually, the developer adds a new item first in a hidden form, and then releases a full-fledged weapon. It is quite possible that in one of the next updates, we will be able to pick up these new knives. Imagine how much this will change the gameplay. We might even see the introduction of throwing weapons or unique melee combat. And you know, friends, after I tested all these turrets, I had an idea. In the 32.0 update, the developers have already shown that they can add something completely unexpected, such as the healing turret, which heals NPCs instead of dealing damage. This means that we can expect even more strange and interesting turrets in the future. I decided to imagine some possible variations. The first idea is the acid turret. Imagine this, she doesn't shoot bullets or lasers, but a green sludge that eats away at everything around her. I hit an NPC, and it's gradually starting to collapse, right in front of my eyes. Such an effect would look as harsh as possible, and would definitely appeal to those who like experiments with physics. The second idea is the freeze turret. She could release an ice ray that completely stops NPCs, turning them into an ice statue. And after that, you can either leave them frozen or smash them with one blow. Visually, it would be very beautiful and would add another interesting mechanic to the game. Next, I have an idea for an electric turret, which is an electric turret. Its shots not only deal damage, but also stun NPCs with electricity. When an NPC is hit, they start twitching, sparks fly in all directions, and if there is another NPC nearby, the current can jump to them as well. This chain reaction would be perfect for large-scale battles. And you know, the best part about these theories is that they are quite realistic. If we already have turrets with missiles, knives, healing, and lasers, why not add acid, ice, or electricity? Developers love to experiment, and we might see these options in the next update. Well, friends, these are some really interesting and even somewhat strange secrets related to the new turrets in the 32.0 update. As for me, the developer did a great job this time, because each turret has its own trick and leaves room for experimentation. It's especially cool that you can now build entire scenes with different mechanisms and combine them. Please share your thoughts in the comments about which turret you like the most. And maybe you already have theories about how they can be used or what other secrets they hold. Be sure to share. I read all your comments, and it is possible that it is your guess that I will check in the next video. Thank you so much for watching this video to the end. If you liked it, don't forget to like, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the bell so that you don't miss new videos. Well, I'm going to prepare more experiments and secrets for you from Melon Playground. See you very soon. Good luck to everyone, and bye-bye.
Hello guys, this is Maiden. It's been a while since any new and exciting syringes have been added to the game, which means only one thing: the developer is preparing large-scale innovations and even more exciting syringes for us. In this video, I will show you what they might look like and what they will do. Let's get started. Once I downloaded the game Fruit Playground, which is a parody of Melon Playground, and I saw that there are a lot of interesting syringes in this game. First, I'll show you what they look like in Fruit Playground, and then I'll show you my concepts for how they might be implemented in Melon Playground. Well, as you can see, the first syringe is called Freezing, and it freezes characters just like the ice staff. The next syringe that I like is called Separating, and here's how it works. This syringe is not very effective, but it's very interesting and fun. By the way, I'm curious about how often you use syringes in the game. Please share your thoughts in the comments. Personally, I've been using them less and less recently because they've become boring to me. That's why I really want new syringes to be added to the game. I really hope that the developer will add them in the next update. And another syringe, after which I will show you how it will be implemented in Melon, is called Zombie. As you know, the game already has a virus syringe, but I believe that a zombie syringe would be even more exciting, as it would transform NPCs into real zombies with unique skins. Well, here's how I implemented it in Melon Playground. I hope you enjoy it because I put a lot of effort into it. I'm a beginner YouTuber, and I really hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please like and subscribe to my channel. My childhood dream is to reach 1,000 subscribers.
Hello everyone! Today we are going to talk about something that almost every Melon Sandbox player is waiting for: multiplayer. Yes, the most requested feature that could completely change the game forever. But when will it come out? And what secrets might the developers be hiding from us? First, let's be honest. Multiplayer is not just a simple update. Adding it means creating servers, connections, lobbies, player interactions, and balancing the gameplay so that nothing breaks. That's why it hasn't been added yet. The developers want to make it stable before releasing it. Now here's the interesting part. Some players already notice small hints in the game files and updates. There are traces that look like preparation for multiplayer features. Nothing official yet, but these tiny details show that developers are at least experimenting with it. So what will multiplayer actually look like? Imagine building crazy contraptions with your friends. One person makes a rocket, another builds a tank, someone else sets up defenses, and then you all test it together. Or imagine roleplay servers where players can create their own scenarios, like survival maps, team battles, or just funny experiments together. But there is also a big question. How will multiplayer handle chaos? In single player, your phone or PC can process everything. But with multiple players online, all of that has to be synced. This means stronger servers, better optimization, and maybe even limits on how much you can spawn at once. Now, about the possible release. Some people think multiplayer could appear in one of the big anniversary updates, maybe on the 5th year of Melon Sandbox, when developers decide to drop something huge. Others believe it could come even sooner in a beta test format, where only selected players can try it first. One more theory is that multiplayer might start with something simple, like local co-op. For example, 2 players on the same Wi-Fi network could join each other's games. That would be much easier to test, before moving on to global servers, with thousands of players. So, when will multiplayer finally come out? Nobody knows for sure, but one thing is clear. The developers are well aware that this is the most requested feature ever. It's not a question of if, but when. And when it finally arrives, it will completely change Melon Sandbox forever. What do you think? Will we get multiplayer this year, or do we still have to wait? Write your predictions in the comments.
Hello everyone! Today I will tell you about 10 secrets of Melon Playground that you definitely didn't know. This will be a real dive into the most hidden details of the game. Ready? Let's go! First secret: golems. To get them, you need to use the nano-assembler and combine unusual materials. For example, stone or metal, and they transform into golems. These are not just figures, it even unlocks the achievement Philosopher's Stones. When you collect all types, a real magical transformation. Second secret: the control panel. There is an item that looks like a box with buttons. If you press them in a certain order, a red button will appear, and when pressed, it visually rolls the game back to version 1.8 just for visual effects. Very strange and atmospheric. Third secret, the secret generator. This was a saved world in the workshop that was later removed, but some players managed to unlock the achievement Enlightenment or Hacker. There was even a hidden phone code inside it. Fourth secret, the gray Melon. This is a rare living object that spawns with a very small chance. You can also load it through a save file, but that won't unlock the achievement. Finally, a gray one, a true mystery. Fifth secret, cake living. This is a secret character made to celebrate the game's 4th anniversary. To get it, you just need to place a piece of cake into the nano-assembler and activate it. Then you will get a living cake. Such a cute Easter egg. Sixth secret, the secret keyboard. In version 10.1, there was a map called Mountain, and on it stood a keyboard where you could enter codes. One code, Ju5T for an unlocaccod, collapsed the map into nothingness if a cake was nearby. Another code, for an other unlocaccod, teleported you to a secret laboratory. Pure magic. Seventh secret, the laboratory. This was a hidden map that you could access through the keyboard. Inside there was a lamp and a trash bin. If you threw the bin, it activated an emergency signal and threw you back into the main menu. Such little details make the game mysterious. Eighth secret, the secret phone. It sometimes appears in the main menu with a 20% chance. If you dial different numbers, different audio messages play. 1987 plays the Five Nights at Freddy's music. 02 is some kind of police message, and the complex code True1110CKCOD launches a generator, and if you type 666 at M, something creepy happens. Oh, who dares to try it? Ninth secret, a reminder of the past. This game is full of Easter eggs referencing old versions, old saves, generators, and phones that bring back nostalgia. Sometimes it's enough just to open an old world or item, and it feels like traveling back in time. And finally, the 10th secret, many hidden combinations and mechanisms. Every player can discover them on their own, whether it's secret codes, buttons, the nano-assembler, or special saves. It's like a little quest game inside Melon Playground, and there's always something new for fans to find.
Hello everyone, guys! Today, I have an incredible video for you, because one of my subscribers wrote in the comments that he somehow managed to get a new secret achievement in Melon Playground related to the latest items from the 32.0 update. And do you know how he did it? He wrote that he took the new character juices, transferred them into syringes using the syringe gun, and then injected them into Melon. According to him, this resulted in a hidden achievement. At first, to be honest, I thought it was just a fake, but then I started thinking about it. In the game, they have added a syringe gun that can shoot empty syringes. We get an empty syringe, we can fill it with any juice, and it becomes a completely new syringe that didn't exist before. If you think about it, it sounds really plausible. Let's try to check it all out. First of all, I need to get all the juices, and as you know, there are a huge number of them now. Each NPC has its own unique one. It's really cool, because it wasn't like this before, and we didn't have the opportunity to take the essence of a character directly and turn it into a separate item. So now I just take the syringe gun, shoot empty syringes, and start collecting a whole collection of new secret syringes. And now the most important part, the subscriber said that, in order to get this achievement, you need to inject all of these new syringes into Melon at once. It sounds tough, but let's give it a try. I'm really curious to see if this actually works, or if it's just another theory from the comments. But if it does work, and there's even a hint of an achievement, it would be a real sensation. By the way, what's interesting, there was already a moment in the game with secret achievements. For example, many of you remember the story with Enlightenment, when we entered the code and got into the lab. Then, too, no one believed it until they checked it out, so why not try it now? Maybe the developer has made a reference to past secrets again and added a new condition for unlocking the achievement. So, watch the video to the end, because we're actually going to do an experiment that could be the discovery of the entire 32.0 update. In the meantime, let me know in the comments what you think. Is this achievement real, or did my subscriber make it up for fun?